Long before communication satellites, drones, and mechanized armies, survival depended on one thing alone: the human will to endure. Across vast frozen plains, scorched deserts, and dense forests untouched by civilization, warriors and soldiers alike learned a lesson that technology could never teach. The world does not wait for weakness. He was a soldier, sent on a mission that no one had expected to succeed. An ambush tore through his unit in seconds. Explosions rattled the ground, screams echoed in the smoke, and before he knew it, he was alone. The silence that followed was deafening. No commands, no cries, no guidance. Just him, the debris, and the uncertainty of what lay ahead. At first, fear threatened to paralyze him. Every sound became a signal, every shadow a potential threat. But slowly, instinct took over. He began observing subtle movements. Leaves trembling in the wind, birds falling silent, the faint vibrations of distant vehicles. Survival became a game of awareness. A broken twig underfoot could cost him his life, a misjudged step could betray his location. Each moment demanded perfection, yet perfection was impossible. Days stretched into nights, and nights into a haze of constant vigilance. Hunger gnawed at him, stripping his body of energy. Dehydration forced him to drink from streams that could carry disease. His injuries throbbed endlessly, but pain became a teacher rather than a burden. He learned to improvise. Crafting bandages from torn fabric, using mud to seal wounds, building rudimentary shelters that offered minimal protection. Every small victory was a lifeline. The environment itself became both enemy and ally. Snowstorms erased tracks but threatened hypothermia. The scorching desert sun dehydrated him as quickly as it masked the approach of hostile forces. Dense jungles hid predators and snakes, while also offering fruit, roots, and cover. He adapted. He memorized patterns of nature. He learned to move silently, to conserve energy, to listen to the world when words and commands were gone. Memories of his fallen comrades haunted him. Each decision, each misstep, replayed endlessly in his mind. And yet, dwelling on the past could not save him. Focus was his weapon. Awareness became his shield. Patience became his ally. He realized that survival was not about fighting, but it was about understanding, anticipating, and enduring. In the second week, exhaustion reshaped him. His body weakened, yet his senses sharpened. Hunger became clarity, pain became precision. The soldier could sense movement before he saw it. He learned to read footprints in the mud, the direction of bird flight, even subtle changes in wind. Every element became a tool in the fight to stay alive. Nature itself had become a mentor, harsh but fair, teaching lessons that no training camp ever could. Enemies were constant, but their presence was unpredictable. Hostile forces appeared and disappeared like shadows, striking without warning. He learned guerrilla tactics instinctively. To hide, to vanish, to strike only when advantage was certain. Sometimes he watched from afar as battles raged, analyzing human behavior, adapting lessons to himself. The battlefield was no longer just a place, it had become a teacher. Weeks turned into a month. His sense of time fractured. He marked days not by calendars, but by changes in light, by the growth of moss on stones, by the subtle rotation of the stars. Sleep became rare and fragmented, taken in bursts when exhaustion overtook caution. Dreams blurred with reality, creating visions of friends, enemies, and the forest itself speaking in whispers. He began to understand the mind as a battlefield just as dangerous as any physical terrain. He encountered survivors occasionally, strangers as lost and broken as he was. Some helped, some betrayed, some disappeared without a trace. Trust became a rare commodity, weighed carefully against risk. And yet, human connection, however brief, reminded him that survival was not merely about endurance, but also about hope. As winter set in, his body and mind reached new limits. Fingers numb, eyes strained, muscles stiff from frost, he pressed on. Each step was a negotiation between pain and necessity. Each decision carried enormous weight. By now, instinct had merged with experience. Movement, observation, and calculation fused into a single reflex. Life was no longer a choice, it was a series of precise reactions to the world around him. In the final weeks, he discovered that the greatest enemy was not fire, bullets, or beasts. It was complacency, the slow erosion of awareness, the quiet surrender of the mind. Every misjudged step, every moment of hesitation, could be fatal. Survival became a test of continuous adaptation, forcing him to evolve faster than his surroundings. And then, After months of isolation, hunger, injuries, and mental strain, he emerged. Not victorious, not triumphant, but alive. Scarred, changed, and profoundly aware of the fragility of human existence. He had learned that survival is not about strength alone. It is about patience, awareness, mental resilience, and the relentless refusal to give in, even when the world is silent and cruel. The forest, the storms, the silence, and the shadows remained imprinted in him. Every breath reminded him of the struggle. Every heartbeat reminded him of the endurance required. Survival, he understood, is not granted but is earned, moment by moment, choice by choice, instinct by instinct. Fade into darkness leaving the world unchanged, but the soldier transformed forever.